Well, hello there, and welcome to my personal life channel. In this video, I'm going to be answering the question, who is Pastor Michael Nicodemus? Well, that's me, but I often ask myself that question a lot. So in this video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going over my history, where I come from, who my family is, my past careers, my past jobs, things like that. I believe that I'm going to be posting this video on all my channels. I do have 4 channels, 3 other ones besides the one that you're watching this from. So watch this video all the way through and you'll find out about all 4 of my channels. So let's get started. What you're going to be seeing when the video starts playing here again is you're going to see some footage that I shot in 2020 that I shot for another video, and I just edited it and broke it down so you'd understand it. I'm going to come back at the other end of it and kind of give you an update of where things are at in my life today. So please keep watching. One of the things that I like to do is I'm going to ask a question: is who am I and where do I come from? So I'm going to put a slide on the screen right now, and it's going to tell you that I actually wrote a book called What is Heart Refinement. That's my autobiography book, and I'll put a link underneath the descriptions of this video on my YouTube channel that will help you to figure out how to access that book if you want to read it. But what I'm going to do is I'm just going to kind of give you a brief overview of where I'm from. So as you can tell on this video, I was raised in Scottsbluff, Nebraska, and as you can see, Nebraska here is the good life. So I was born in the hospital in Alliance, Nebraska. It's called the Box Butte General Hospital. And in this situation, my dad was taking care of cattle. He was a ranch owner, a ranch hand, I guess, not a ranch owner. And my mom went into labor with me, and he just drove her by the entrance of the hospital there and dropped her off and said he's got to go check on cows and he'd be back later. So that's kind of how I was brought into the world. My parents were arguing, and that's sad. That's really, really sad. But here is my parents. I'm in the video in the picture with both of them. So I'm in the red shirt just like I am now, and that's my mom. I'm in that picture. And we took a train ride through the Royal Gorge in Colorado, and that's like a dome car, dinner car, where you can actually see out. And this next picture is a birthday card, a big giant birthday card that I give to my dad. And that was, I don't know, probably 8, 9 years ago. I don't really remember. But I thought it was important that you see my mom and dad in the same slide. So both of those pictures are on the slide next to me. Where I'm going to talk about now is I have 2 sisters and a brother. I used to have an older brother and another stepbrother, but he died. So both of my brothers died, and then I have a stepsister. I didn't feel a need to put her on this slide. So this first picture is my oldest sister and me, and I got my sunglasses on, as you can see. So her name is Robin, and I don't have much to say about that, just that it's my family. This next picture is my sister Brenda and I, and as you can tell, we're kind of happy in that picture, and I'm grateful for that. But we as adults, we get into a life of our own, and we kind of forget that we are family members. This next picture is me and my brother, and we're both wearing the sunglasses, and we're both doing the butterfly rabbit ears, whatever you want to call it. But that's kind of the way that him and I joke around, and he's pretty present in my life today. He's 11 years younger than me, and he lost his father when he was 18 years old. And in this picture, he's probably 34, 35, and I'm 46. So that was quite a few years ago. And so it's important to see that I'm an older brother and almost kind of like a father to my younger brother. And so in my spiritual health consulting services, that's important, because Jesus is our older brother, and we, if we claim in him as Lord and Savior, we follow him. And this is important, that we become heirs to the throne of God through Jesus Christ. And when we have younger brothers or younger sisters, the sister with me wearing my glasses, she's 1 year older than me, but my brother and my sister, they're younger than me, and I like to give them advice if they ever need it. And I believe that that's what Jesus does when he was helping us while he was here on earth. That the disciples, they came along and they told the story, and we can read about that in the New Testament. So the next thing is my beautiful daughter, and as you can tell, this first picture is, I believe this is her prom night. It's a very beautiful glamour picture. And then this next picture that you see on the screen here is she got married, and I went and walked her down the aisle, and I actually got to dance with my daughter, and I'll show you that picture here in a minute. But on this picture here, it was my daughter's birthday, and she lives about 1,000 miles away. So I flew out and spent some time with her and her husband at their house, about 2 weeks. That's important. And the only reason I started this YouTube channel is because my daughter asked me to do that. Sometimes we don't have time to spend and talk to each other, and my videos are good because if something happens to me, if I was ever to pass away, she'd always have these videos. So what I like about this, my friends, is in this picture, we're dancing together at her wedding. And I'm going to, hopefully you can see how happy and how content we are in this picture. She's my pride and joy. She's my baby. She's my only child, my only daughter. And I love her with all my heart. And she sometimes gives me the grace to keep going every day. Well, my friends, I have a love for horses, and so in this picture here, you see a wood carving, and I made that carving, and that's kind of the passion of my heart. This next picture you see here is connecting with a horse that I used to have, and I smiled, and she smiled at me, and we had a pretty good connection there. This next picture that you see is me saddling up a horse. This was several years ago when I used to own the One Heart Ranch Ministries Resort Retreat Center. I know that's a mouthful. But my friends, I used to train horses, and I used to do demonstration rides, youth camps, church camps, just anything where people needed to come. And later on, I'll be sharing some more in-depth videos on that. This next picture is of my horse called Gallant Lucky Lady. And that she was a registered quarter horse mare, and her and I, we performed in ministry videos together, and I sang and played a guitar for her back, and we'll get to that here in a minute. Next picture that you see is my most favorite job that I've ever done was being a carpenter, a home improvement specialist. So this first picture of me is actually working on a carport that this guy in a trailer park wanted to turn into a garage. I thought that was pretty cool. This next picture that you see on here is the trailer that I owned, and the old pickup that I used to have. And as you can see, we used to have a lot of jobs that I needed that trailer to haul, and this is actually like an 8x10 deck, and you can see, if you look close at that picture, you can see the stairs there, and these are parts of the deck that I actually cut apart. So that's probably in all the jobs that I've ever had, being a carpenter, being a handyman, home improvement specialist, it's probably been the most enjoyable job that I ever had. And you can call me a remodeling specialist. And I work as a pastor as a heart refinement specialist. So remodeling and refinement is about the same thing, because you're transforming something into something beautiful that wasn't necessarily beautiful to start with. And this next section of pictures, my friends, is I used to perform a lot in ministry. So this first picture that you see shows me performing from horseback, and what you're seeing is practice time. And I had a female horse wrangler that worked with me, and I had to play the guitar and use my legs, and so you can tell I'm not holding on to that horse, but the horse is responding through cues through my legs to be able to move forward, to move back, to sidestep sideways, to sidestep another direction. If you keep watching my YouTube videos, you'll actually see some of that in a video that is pretty cool. This next picture that you're seeing underneath it is actually an actual presentation that I was doing. I was singing and preaching from horseback. That's pretty cool. But when I was training that horse, gal and lucky lady one time, she reared up and threw me off because I was trying to do some pole collected rides with her and then trying to side pass at the same time. She got mad, and so I gave her a little spur, and she reared up and threw me off because she didn't like that spur. So this next picture that you're seeing is I got into puppets. I'm a ventriloquist puppeteer, but because of some medical problems I have, it's a little hard for me to keep doing the different voices. There was a time that I had 5 puppets, 5 puppets, and they different voices, different personalities, but it was a pretty cool time. I'm also a wedding pastor. A lot of you that don't know that, I do wedding services. This first picture is one that I did. It was an outdoor wedding, and they wanted to be Western looking, so I wore my hat, and that's me, and that's the couple that I married. This next video, this next picture in the video is another couple that I married, and they got married up in the Grand Lakes of Colorado, and they wanted a real fancy wedding. So as you see, it's an outdoor wedding, and I put my suit and tie on, and I had a little headset so everybody could hear me. This wedding was actually done out on a lake, and we were out on the dock, so there was people sitting on both sides of this dock out on the shore. So I amplified my voice through a voice speaker that I had, and that was a great thing for those people to see that. And in this section, my friends, you know that I was a wedding pastor. So I offer spiritual health consulting services to wedding couples. And as you can tell in this picture right here, I am married. This was the day and the outfits that we had when we got married, and as you can tell, there's a really nice cross in the background, and I think that's pretty cool. This next picture that you're seeing on the screen here was the guy that took the picture. He said, "Be serious, show me your wedding ring so I can take a picture of those." So this picture is actually on my wall behind my recliner in the other room, and then I have the 5 things to make love work, and then the things that destroy that love hanging on the wall next to it. One of these days I'll do a video on that, and we'll talk about that too. I believe that we need to help each other to stay strong. We need to know what makes love work, and we also need to know what destroys that love, so we're not focused on destroying love. But if we don't know what that is, we'll never understand how to make love work if we don't understand what we're doing wrong. This next picture that you're seeing is probably the first date that my wife and I had, and as you can tell, she is really happy, and so am I. And this was taken at I believe McDonald's out of Walmart that we were in, and my mom actually took that picture for us, and she joined us with that. This next picture you're seeing is we were actually dating, and that's taken from the bathroom that I had. And I still have that, and that's a cross shower curtain that I had. And I said, hey, why don't we take a picture together in front of that? And that's pretty cool. Well, I hope you enjoyed that footage there. It talked about where I was born, who my parents are, who my brother and sisters are. It talked about my wife and my daughter and my love for horses and some of the things that I've done in ministry so far. So, one of the other questions that you might be asking is how do I make my living? What do I do to earn money? I'm going to be telling you about that next. Now, to talk about kind of where my life is at, where my occupation is concerned, I used to be employed for the Union Pacific Railroad out of South Morrill, Wyoming, South Morrill, Nebraska, and we went to Bill, Wyoming, and I got injured. I got injured in 2002, and I want to put a picture on the screen in front of me. You can see this picture now. This is a loaded coal train, and that's what I was operating on. And that pretty much looks like the Powder River subdivision I was working for. But I was on that lead locomotive that you can see in the picture there, and we were coming down a hill. And if you look way, way, way up that picture there on the left side of your corner, where it's actually uphill at, there's a DP, which is a distributive power unit that's pushing that locomotive, and the engineer has the ability to control that end of that train unit with the computer that's on the lead locomotive. Well, those lead locomotives were malfunctioning, and they stopped loading as it started going up the hill going the other direction. So if I was to reverse this image going up the other direction, you can see now that we're pulling uphill instead of going downhill. That's where it happened at. So the end of the train was shoving down the hill, and the lead locomotives were going up. So that was a big issue that actually snapped my neck. And because of that faulty locomotive, I am no longer employed, and I also cannot work any competitive employment because of this issue. I've been disabled since 2003 legally and on Social Security disability income or Social Security disability insurance. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been easy. And I worked one job in that 18 years, and that was for Home Depot, and I worked there for about 2 years until they fired me because of my disability reasons. That comprehension, judgment, and reasoning was one of those things that I have a problem with, you know. So how do I give back to society? I think people need to understand if you're disabled and you're collecting an income from the government, you can still do something that benefits the public, because we are called to serve other people. That's our mission. That's what God has created us to do. But I want to share my website with you. I have a website, and that's what I do now is what the website shows. So we're going to talk about my website coming right up. If you was to go and do a Google search on Heart to Heart Refinement Ministries, that's the name of my ministry. Let's type that in there now. Heart to Heart Refinement Ministries. See, it comes up at the top part of the site there. So let's see what that's all about. So that's my website that you're seeing there. And you go to the Start Home page. That's where we're at now. It gives you the our mission statement and our purpose. This is my wife and I's website, and it's pretty lengthy here. And it'll tell you what is Heart to Heart Refinement Ministries. And as you know, I'm a online course creator, and my biggest teachings that I do is on the Spirit of God's fruit and the qualities of our great God. This is the way of God and Jesus. That's what I teach people. This page also tells you how to use the page. It tells you who we are. It tells you that I'm also a spiritual health consulting um, services guide. So if you go back up to the top of this page, this will also work on your mobile app, but you can go to this link. It'll take you to a page that talks about who we are, basically who I am, who my wife and I are, and there's a conversation that my wife and I are actually having on what heart to heart really is, and that's how I spend my day as an online pastor. So yes, I am an online pastor. That's how I make my living, but not really making a living at it. I actually have seen God in a near-death event in 2002. So this page will actually guide you through that. I think there's 41 videos as you will kind of view down there and see all of those things. I don't want to bore you in this video with all of that. It's not really boring. This page right here is a spiritual health consulting services. This is basically the service that I provide to the public. Remember, I told you you needed to give back a little bit. That's what I do. So this page will tell you what the services is all about, kind of how it's done. It's going to ask you to watch a video and then read the directions, watch another video. And then there's some things that you're going to be talking about, another video to watch. I'm going to ask you some questions, and then you're going to watch a couple other videos, and then you're going to have a contact form there if you have any questions. And then it's going to guide you to a link that is going to have you go to the next videos in the session. So the next videos in the session, if you was to go over here, and it'll link you to that, but it's called pre-recorded consulting sessions. And these pre-recorded consulting sessions are actually virtual consulting videos that I have done, and you'll order a book, as you can see there. Then you'll watch a series of videos, and then after you watch those videos, you'll go into another stage course, and then you'll watch another series of videos. My friends, this is what I do to give back to people. I think this is highly important, and that's my life. That's what I do. So Heart to Heart Refinement Ministries is a big part of who I am. So what I'd like to do now is I'd like to explain to you what my 4 different YouTube channels are, and we're going to get started right now. What I like to do is I like to talk about my YouTube channels. We do have 4 of them. So the first channel that I ever created was Pastor Michael Nicodemus. This is my personal life, and I believe that if I'm going to help people with matters of their heart or relationship struggles or life issues, they need to get to know who I am and what I do in my personal life. So my personal life channel is where you can do that at. I have Bible studies on there because those are things that I wanted to know. I also have different things that I'm doing for home improvements around my house. I also have different playlist series of things that I wanted to know to help me to grow into a better man, to be who I am today. And also all my videos on my Life After Seeing God are also on this channel that I'm talking about. So it's important that people get to know who I am if they're going to trust me through a virtual consulting session. So the next channel that I have is Heart to Heart Refinement School. That's the second channel that I made, because if you go back and you look through some of those videos for Heart to Heart Refinement School, you realize that I had a team. I worked with a team for a long time in order to build the school. Basically, we had a brick and mortar location. We had a staff of people that helped us. Me and another gentleman, we wrote the books that Heart to Heart Refinement School were founded on, and that's where heart refinement comes in at. You know that I'm a carpenter, and I started out as a carpenter when I was 12 years old, many years ago. And that's a passion that I have. So, but my biggest passion is remodel work. So when it comes to the heart or a person's personal life or their relationships or how they operate with other people or their upbringing, how they were raised, that's all about refinement. So remodeling and refinement are the same things. So when I'm remodeling a house, I'm changing the appearance of it, okay? When I'm refining a person's heart, I'm changing the appearance of it. We are removing those unwanted elements. In the case of a house, it could be outdated and we're updating it. And in the case of somebody's heart, it could be hurting. It could be broken on the inside. They could realize that maybe they didn't have the mother-father roles that they needed growing up. Maybe they were bullied in school. There is so many reasons why we need heart refinement. You're a little crooked there. See if I can straighten that out a little bit. I have watched these videos back, and that little wood strip in there just kind of gets to be going lopsided. So try to do the best we can. So if you watch this video, you also realize that I got married, and in that marriage came stepchildren, and they were teenagers at the time of making this video. They are still teenagers. There's a 15-year-old and an 18-year-old and a couple other kids that are no longer teenagers, but they still need heart refinement. I think that we all do that. So heart-to-heart refinement school is a longer version that helps you to break down what heart refinement is. And when I do it for the teens, as you're seeing on this picture right here, heart refinement for teens is a simpler version that introduces you into what you need to do to refine your heart in order to find that peace in your heart. And I'm going to include this video before I go into how we find that peace that we're looking for in that heart refinement for teens. I think that's important. Hopefully they will watch it all the way through. The last channel that we have, that my wife and I have, is M&M Model Railways. It is a hobby channel. We don't share any ministry in there. Don't share anything about my personal life. That is for a purpose. I want people to know that I do have a hobby, and that hobby is in our living room, and we're working on Module 1 at the time of the recording of this video. We are almost to the end of 2001, Module 1. When we start into the year 2022, did I say 2001? I meant to say 2021. But 2022 starts Module 2, and that's where it starts to wrap around the corner, and we'll be building a new corner cupboard. We'll be building a new microwave cabinet, shelves, and some storage in our dining room, because it's going to go all the way through our dining room and wrap back around. So I want people to know about my hobby. I want them to know about all my YouTube channels, and I want them to know who I am. If you're going to trust me with the matters of your heart, you need to know who I am. That's why I created this video. Thank you for watching.